Hey folks, welcome to my channel, or welcome back, whatever the case may be. Yes, this is not a diamond painting. Yes, this is not a cross stitch. This is, what are these called? Like, it's like a hoop. I don't, you know, words. If you've been around long enough, me and words, I may know words, but words don't always want to work. My mind, you know, yeah. Anyways, I was working on this quite a few months ago, and I decided, what the heck, I just finished evening flower diamond painting last night. I want to take a break for a little bit from diamond painting and cross stitch, and so I dug through my basket of yarn stuff, and it was like, oh, let's work on this some more. So yeah, you'll notice that, yeah, there's knots in it. Well, this is when I'm done this is all going to be on the inside. This is going to be what you see on the outside. I am going to work these knots through to the other side at some point, but yeah, I just wanted to work on this for a bit, and then I thought, what the heck, I'll do a video. I know I could be going live, but maybe later. I might do a live stream later today. We'll see. Just been watching videos from my playlists, and yeah, just chillaxing here with the AC on. So I actually started keeping a record, a written record of how things are going with my CPAP issues that I'm having, that kind of thing. I kept waking up during the night last night and having to readjust the nose, the mask, because I'd suddenly stop, like, I'd wake up and I'd be having trouble breathing through my nose, and so I'd have to actually pull the mask down a little bit on my nose in order for me to be able to breathe. Yeah. That happened a few times during the night. So if you're wondering what I'm working on, well, it's gonna be a pillow. I have stuffing for it from an old pillow. I don't know how big it's gonna be or anything like that. I started working on it several months back, at some point last year. And I've got different sizes of these hoops. The smallest is like about this big. I was working on something with that, and then I changed my mind. And I also have my yarn in this. One of my hairs. But yeah, this is really cool. It holds skeins of yarn, and then the yarn comes out that end. But I have a ball in here. Yeah. Sometimes I use this and sometimes I don't. So it just sits on the floor beside me. Yeah. I have some of those rings that you can get. I got a bunch. And I showed them in one of my Temu unboxings. Fancy peacock rings for that you wear, and then you just loop the yarn through it. I'd have to get used to wearing them, because I'm just so used to holding the yarn like this. I hold the yarn like this with crocheting as well, But when I'm knitting, I actually have, instead of the yarn looped over the ring finger, I actually have it over my pinky finger for when I'm knitting. Don't ask, I don't know why, it just feels very comfortable for me in that way, holding it that way. But this way I can control the tension of the yarn. As you can see, like I'm always playing with just, you know, jiggling my fingers, making sure that the yarn is kept loose enough, but also tight enough. Because, yeah, every so often the yarn will try to come off the hook. Yeah, so if you know the package that these came in, said the name of them, but I got rid of the package a long time ago. But yeah, if you know the name of these things, please let me know, because like my memory it sucks. Anyways, I actually was watching a live stream replay. There's this guy that I watch that the majority of his videos, he does a lot of shorts and he does a few live streams, but the majority of what he posts are shorts. He's an ex-con, so he did spend time in prison. He was a bit of a bad dude when he in his younger years. He never unalived anyone, but he did break the law quite a few times when he was younger, and got caught and went to prison and changed his life around, got out of prison. He's very happily married, and he actually works with police officers to help bring awareness to bad things and bad people, especially people that do bad things to children. And yeah, some of his best friends are cops. Then other friends are ex-cons, people that spent time in prison and are either still in prison or are out now and changing their lives for the better. If you watch the news, any of these bad things that have happened in the past and whatnot. Anyways, there is a guy up in Alaska that went to prison for beating up people that have hurt kids. And he's known as the Alaskan Avenger. Well, this guy that I watch, his name is J.D. DeLay. And yeah, he's very, very popular on YouTube. And he's been working, like, I was just watching some of his videos to do with the schools in Buffalo, New York. Because, yeah, there is a YouTube channel and podcast called Unsub Podcast, or just Unsubscribe. That's it, Unsubscribe Podcast. And it's a group of YouTubers. They each have their own YouTube channels. I follow a couple of them. But yeah, they get together and live stream, and I've seen a couple of them, and they've been talking about, like one of them in particular, he's a vet, former military. He is a police officer and his YouTube channel is called Angry Cops. I've been following him for a while, longer than JD. But yeah, he's apparently a police officer in Buffalo, New York, and so he's actually investigated several cases in elementary schools of teachers and other students doing bad things to kids. But not just doing bad things to kids, but covering up the occurrences and hiding this stuff. And now he's bringing it to light, and it's in the news and all of this stuff. So I've been watching a bit of that. Yeah. Buffalo, New York. Elementary school. Like, seriously. Come on. I know the videos are a couple of weeks old, because I am a bit behind. I have a playlist. These videos are on my I have a legal playlist. It's where I've been watching videos to do with the lawsuit between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. They are the two main actors from the movie It Ends With Us, I think it's called. Yeah, and Blake Lively is married to Ryan Reynolds, and apparently during production of the film, she was accusing Justin Baldoni of some bad stuff. And so, yeah, they're going to court over these accusations. And yeah, so I've been following that through certain YouTubers. Let's see what else. Yeah, so that one. So there's that lawsuit. There's the Laura Owens versus Clayton Echard court stuff. She had a one-night stand. Laura Owens had a one-night stand with Clayton Echard, he was on the show The Bachelor from, I think it was season 23. But yeah, so she had like a one-night stand with him, and then she came back and said that she was pregnant, and it's like, what? Sorry, inside joke. Yeah, so she accused him of some stuff and got a restraining order against him as well. And turns out, well, he's not the first one that she's done this to. And yeah, so anyways, she's being brought up on charges, some, yeah, bad things, but not as bad as what she's accused men of in the past. But anyways, so I've been following that legal battle, as well as what's been going on with my favorite YouTube channel, What the Hales, and all the ridiculousness of that legal crap. And I say ridiculousness because it is ridiculous. A lot of it is ridiculous. But like being stuck in the middle of it, like what like they are, it's not ridiculous. It's not really ridiculous for them. But yeah, for outsiders watching and going, "Oh my God." It all started like a few years ago, back in like 2020, 2021, something like that, with What the Hales buying a piece of property down in Florida. And then these people that claimed to be super fans bought property across the street from them, and to try and grift off of What the Hales. And yeah, and because they couldn't get what they wanted from What the Hales, they started saying bad stuff about them, And, well, it's gotten, now there's a whole bunch of legal stuff and harassment, and oh my god, it's just 2 words: shit show. But of course, what the hell's Jeremy and George, it has been so stressful for them going through all of this stuff, emotionally stressful and psychologically stressful, and it's caused them, they're going like, the stress has been affecting them physically as well, and as well as financially, because, well, they are, with all of the lawsuits that are going on, like $300,000 in legal fees so far between all of the court cases. Yeah. And they've got court cases going on in Ohio as well as in Florida. And it's just bloody ridiculous. And now there's somebody new for them to sue. Yeah, somebody new for them to sue. Yeah. Because this new person, this new individual, shared video footage of revenge corn. Well, some call it revenge corn, others call it revenge prawn, but of Jeremy Hales and Megan Fox, the news writer. Yeah. And the guy that originally created the video footage of this revenge videos, he posted it on his own YouTube channel, and was immediately struck and immediately removed from YouTube. And then, of course, he was on this other YouTuber's channel and shared it on that channel. Not once, but twice. And since then, that YouTube channel has actually been deleted. Yeah. But anyways, so now they've got another mentally unhinged, unstable individual. Yeah. Trying to get in on all of this lawsuit stuff. So, and it's just getting, oh my goodness. Yeah. In the meantime, so yeah, that's what I've been watching, along with watching your guys' wonderful videos. I am still trying to get caught up. Slowly but surely. I'm like alternating between the two, watching the legal videos on one phone and watching my diamond painting world videos on my other phone, and then just like paying attention to here and then there and then here, back and forth, and yeah. Seems to be, if I start having issues, then I'll stop, but I seem to be doing okay. So during my live stream yesterday, it was like every 10 minutes my phone, turns out every 10 minutes my phone would start to go to sleep. And I tried to see about changing the settings, the sleep timer on my phone, and the max is 10 minutes. Or I could have it always on as long as I'm looking at it, but that's like if I'm looking at this camera directly. And yeah, so I don't know why it's doing that. So, which, yeah, it's really weird because it, like, I've never had that issue before, so yeah, I don't know. Anyways. Oh my goodness. Oh, I gotta write down in my book. I'm keeping a written log as to whenever I change the propane, and I gotta write down that I changed it today. I was gonna do it last night, but then I thought no. It was late. Wasn't gonna need need to use the propane for any reason last night, so I just left it for this morning. I was getting a little tight there. So yeah, I'm hoping this is gonna be a really cute pillow. I think it's gonna be a really cute pillow. I don't remember where I got this yarn. I don't know how old it is. It seems to be it's very sturdy though. Yeah. So it'll do good for quite a while. It'll make for a good pillow for quite a while. The only downside to this is the hooks do rub against my finger here, and then there's the strain here, and then I can definitely feel it in here. So periodically I'll stop and massage my thumb in here. Yeah. Pressure like this helps. My right hand is not as good as it used to be because of the surgery, my carpal tunnel surgery, and yeah, my scar will sometimes hurt. Yeah. So yeah, last night, right after I finished doing my kit down video, instead of putting everything away and then going to bed, I'm like, screw it, I'll put it all away when I get up in the morning. And I did. I got up this morning and yeah, put everything away. And I thought about going live, and it's like, oh my goodness, I don't know, maybe later. I really want to get my paper, my scrapbooking paper. I want to get all my, I want to have all of my craft supplies together, so then I don't have to go hunting for this stuff. Because I was watching one of Joan's videos yesterday, where she took a bunch of like scrapbooking paper and cut it up and glued it together, and she made these really cute little pages. But she also, like, she sews a border on them. Well, I can't do sewing. Like, I don't have a sewing machine. So that's something that I can't do. But like, I've got stickers, I've got stencils, I've got stamps. I can make stickers, because I do have a sticker maker. I do have my little Xyron sticker maker. Yeah. I'd love to get the larger one. Like, I have a friend that I used to do scrapbooking with in my hometown. I used to go over to her place and do scrapbooking with her. I do kind of miss doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. I should reconnect with her, but like every time I talk with her, she's like, when are you gonna come to town to visit? And it's like, well, I don't know, because like I don't live that close. Well, I live fairly close, but I don't really like going back to that town. I don't really have a reason to. Like, if I'm gonna go and visit her, I want to be able to like spend the weekend at her place. That would be awesome. Go and spend the weekend at her place, visiting with her, and just spend the weekend crafting. Ooh, hey, live streams. Oh, there's an idea. I think that's an awesome idea, and I think she'd be totally down for that. And then she could tell me all about what's going on with her nephews. Yeah. She has 2 brothers, no sisters, but she comes from a really big Italian family. So she's got lots of cousins, aunts and uncles. She lives in a small mobile home trailer next to her dad's store where she works part-time. And she is slightly mentally disabled, but you can't really tell at all. Like, I really honestly don't know what her actual mental disability is, because like she lives on her own. She's on permanent disability, but she lives on her own. Her family is there to help her in any way that is needed. Like, she lives right next door to her dad's store, where she works. And like I said, she's got 2 brothers. They're both married and they both have kids. Boys. There's a lot of boys in her family. Very few girls. But yeah, big Italian family. And she's my sister's age. Yeah, so she's a couple years older than me. But yeah, we've been friends for many years. She's also friends with Wolfie, because her and Wolfie were in the same disability program, I guess it is. It's like a disability program. It's a program for people with disabilities, physical and mental disabilities. And through that, actually, Wolfie and my friend, they went to a town. They would go on a lot of this group. They take the people on all kinds of outings. They went to the water slides once. I know that. They went to Barkerville, and the 2 of them, Wolfie would share a room with my friend. Yeah. And yeah, which is really awesome. It's like they would look out for each other, because she actually used to babysit Wolfie when Wolfie was really little. Yeah. So she's been like an aunt to Wolfie. Yeah. As well as a friend. So, yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Yeah. Go back and visit with her once I've got a vehicle. Once things settle down and I've got a vehicle and whatnot, then I can like go and spend a weekend at her place and do crafts and introduce her to diamond painting and cross stitching and yeah, live stream from her place. You guys can meet her and we can do scrapbooking, because I would love to get back into scrapbooking. I do miss scrapbooking, but yeah. I think that's actually an awesome idea. And then you guys could meet her, she can meet you guys, and yeah, because there was, at one point in time, she and I, we hung out a lot. And she was always the one stable, positive influence in my life during the years that I was doing some pretty bad stuff and I was going through some pretty bad stuff. She was always the positive the one positive in my life. The one biggest positive in my life. And her mom was always worried and concerned about her and I being friends because she was concerned that I would drag her down. Like, yeah, her mom was always concerned that I would drag her daughter down a bad way. But it was the exact opposite. My friend was always the one stable thing in my life that was positive and helped keep me from going too far off the deep end. And yeah, having her in my life was very beneficial. And yeah, it's making me feel guilty about not keeping in touch. I know she would love to hear from me, and now I'm feeling guilty. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I think that's an awesome idea. Reconnect with her and see how she's doing. Yeah. And look into going and visiting her once in a while. Ooh, there's a birdie on the fence just outside my window. I'd show you, but I can't. Because it's gone now. Yeah. But yeah, she and I, we used to spend hours and hours and hours scrapbooking. Yeah. Used to have a great time. And like she doesn't drink, she doesn't smoke, she doesn't do drugs, she doesn't party. She's not into dating. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never been interested in dating. She's never had a boyfriend. She's never had a girlfriend. She doesn't swing that way. So yeah, she'll never have kids, and she is quite fine with that. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, she comes from a really big Italian family. Like her uncle, her dad's brother, was my landlord at one point in time. And I was renting an apartment. It was an apartment on top of a house. And the house belonged to this wonderful old lady. She was, at that point in time of my life, she was my best friend. She was in her mid-70s when I lived there. And while I was living there, above her, Wolfie was in school. She had just started, she was in kindergarten and then in grade 1. Yeah, but I lived there for 3 years. And then, yeah, and I would take Wolfie to school in the morning when she was in kindergarten. And she had morning classes. This was back when kindergarten was only half days. Yeah, I'd take her to school in the morning, and then I'd go home and I would sit downstairs with my friend, and we'd sit and we'd drink tea and we'd laugh and joke and talk about anything and everything. And she smoked cigarettes. She rolled her cigarettes with a rolling machine and tubes. And she'd go through 2 of the large cans of tobacco a month. She smoked a lot. And yes, she ended up with cancer really bad. She was just riddled with cancer when the doctors finally discovered that she had cancer. She had skin cancer as well as other forms of cancer. But yeah, and I think I've talked about her before in the past, in previous videos. I think I might have talked about, yeah, she was the one that she had this really ornery cat. She never let him go outside because she was always worried, because of where we lived, she was worried that he would get hit by a car, or get attacked by another animal. So she would never let him go outside. And well, because of that, he was a very ornery, cranky kitty. And it turned out it was just because he was an outdoor cat. But we didn't know this. But she also liked to feed the neighborhood cats on her back porch. And one morning I was upstairs getting Wolfie ready for school. And all of a sudden I could hear her screaming downstairs. And I heard her say, get out of my house, or something like that. And I go flying down the stairs, running around to the front of the house, to the front door, but it was locked because it was too early in the morning. She hadn't unlocked the front door yet. So I knocked on the door, frantically waiting for her to come answer the door, open the door, and there was some like smoked glass on the door, and I could see through the smoked glass. I could kind of see her, but it was of course blurry because of the smoked glass. But I could see, like, she always wore a house coat, the kind that zipped up, and I could see that she was holding it up. And it's like, well, this is odd. And I'm like freaking out, not knowing what's going on, because I thought I heard her screaming, get out. And I thought there was an intruder in the house. She comes hobbling to the front door. She unlocks the front door, opens it up, and her legs are covered in blood from the knee down. And she explained to me that what happened was a fight broke out on her back porch between a couple of the cats. She went out there to try and break up the fight, but her cat tried to go through her legs to join in on the fight. And like, when I say go through her legs, I mean through her legs. Like, he cut her up badly, like very badly, mangled her one leg, and her other leg had a couple of little scratches on it, but it was also bleeding. But it was bad. It was really bad. It was a mess. And I'm like, well, oh God, what can I do? And I'm like, well, she was friends with her ex-husband's wife. And I'm like, well, do you want me to call her? And she's like, yes, but don't tell him, like her ex-husband. She didn't want him to know what happened. So I called, but she was sleeping, and well, I ended up telling him anyways of what happened, and all he said was, oh God, and he hung up the phone. Well, he apparently went and woke his wife up, told her what happened. Excuse me. He came up to the house. He took one look at her, and he took the cat, and he left. And he told us later that what he did was he took the cat to the vet, and the vet put the cat down, only to find out afterwards that no, that's not what he actually ended up doing. What he actually ended up doing, which he should have said in the first place, which was better, was he actually took the cat to a friend's farm and said, would you be interested in another cat? And the guy and his friend was like, yeah, sure. And he opened up the truck door, and the cat took off out of the truck, and then he left. And then a month later, he went and checked in with the friend to see how the cat was doing, and the guy's like, best mouser I have ever had. That's all the cat wanted, was to be able to be outside. And yeah, so he just didn't have the heart to put the cat down. And I think it would have been better if I honestly think it would have been better if he had told her the truth about her cat, that her cat was still actually alive and doing better, was okay. But anyways, yeah, so his wife showed up and took her to the clinic to see the doctor on call rather than take her to the hospital, because the clinic was opening. It was it would have been quicker to take her to the clinic anyways rather than to the hospital, because the majority of the doctors would be at the clinic anyways. Yeah. So anyways, I went back upstairs and I got Wolfie, took her to school, dropped her off at school, and then I walked over to the clinic to meet up with them at the clinic. And by the time I got to the clinic, it's like, okay, so she's already seen the doctor, and the doctor, they gave her a tetanus shot and bandaged her, and they were bandaging her legs. And then they set it up to have a nurse come to her house twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon, to change the bandages. And they also had to stitch her leg up, like stitches galore. They put her on antibiotics and they did all of this stuff. And yeah, so twice a day she would have a nurse come and change the bandages on her leg. And that was for like 3 weeks to a month. It took longer than expected for her legs, for her legs to heal. And we found out later the reason why was because she had skin cancer. And she didn't know she had skin cancer. Nobody knew. She was hiding it from everybody until she told me that she had, like, she explained to me that one day she admitted to me that she had this sore underneath one of her breasts, and it was not healing. No matter what she did, it was not healing. And so she ended up showing it to me, and right off the bat I knew that it was bad. And I'm like, yeah, next time you go to see the doctor for a checkup on your legs, on the wounds on your legs, show that to your doctor. And she's like, okay. And she did. The doctor took one look at it and immediately sent her to the hospital. Immediately sent her to the hospital. Yeah, it turned out she not only had skin cancer, but her whole body was just riddled with cancer. Yeah. And it was because of smoking for so long. Yeah. They pretty much put her straight into hospice and put her on oxygen. And yeah, she pretty much went straight to, she basically quit smoking cold turkey. Yeah. And she did not last for very much longer after that. I'd go up to visit her whenever I was able to, which was not often enough. Definitely not often enough. I knitted her a lap blanket, because she did like to sit outside. And like they actually had, there's an area, like a balcony on the second floor of the hospital, a balcony area where patients could go and sit outside and smoke. But she'd go out there, but not to smoke. She'd go out there to enjoy the beauty, peace, tranquility, fresh air, all of that stuff. Yeah. She basically went from smoking two cans of tobacco a month while cooped up inside 99% of the time, for I don't know how many years. Like, she very seldom left the house. Yeah, to being on oxygen in the hospital. Yeah. But yeah, I made her a lap blanket. It would have been nice to have gotten it back after she passed, but I didn't get it back. But that was okay. And she had this one writer that she really, really enjoyed reading, even though she admitted that most of the books were almost identical. But she really enjoyed this woman's books, and she had quite the collection. So I was trying to help her with her collection. The local bookstore, I love that bookstore. Not a very big store, but it doesn't have to be. They every couple of months would bring in a book from this author for me, and they would contact me and let me know that it was in, and I'd go and I'd pick it up and bring it to her. And it would take her a couple of months to read it. Yeah. Which was one of the reasons why it was every couple of months. The other reason was because of my finances. But yeah, I helped her out a lot. And then after she passed away, I ended up receiving a lot of grief from her ex-husband's wife, accusing me of taking advantage of an old woman. And it's like, I never did that. No. I helped her out all the time. And I never really asked for anything in return from her, aside from her friendship and company. I enjoyed her company. We sat and laughed and joked, and she actually said in the 3 years that I lived there, before she got really, really sick, she admitted that she learned more from me in the 3 years that I lived there than she had learned in the last 40 years of her life. Like, we talked about anything and everything. Yeah. Yeah. I loved going down there and spending time with her and hanging out with her, and we would also sit and watch Murder, She Wrote. Yep. If I was there when Murder, She Wrote came on, oh, time to watch Murder, She Wrote. And she would actually take her chair from the kitchen into the living room, and she'd sit in her chair and watch Murder, She Wrote, and I would sit on the couch. And the whole time watching Murder, She Wrote, she never had a single cigarette. Actually, she might have, but no. Oh God, it's been so long. I can't remember. It's been over 20 years. And of course, as you know, my brain is not the best for certain things. Like, she probably rolled a cigarette during every commercial. I don't remember. I just remember that, yeah, we would sit and watch Murder, She Wrote. And then afterwards, we'd go back into the kitchen and sit and have tea, and she would smoke her cigarettes, and we would talk. And I would actually sit there and knit or crochet something. Yeah. And yeah. And I didn't have a phone of my own, so she would let me use her phone anytime I needed it. Up until there was a mysterious donation of $200 left inside my door. Yeah. I went home one day from her place, and I opened up the downstairs door, because there's the downstairs door. You open it up, And then you go up the stairs, and then there's a door at the top of the stairs that leads into my apartment on top of her house. Well, just inside, like, I opened up the downstairs door and there was an envelope. Blank envelope. And inside were two $100 bills. And I'm quite certain I know who had left that there for me. But anyways, I sat down on the bottom of the steps and I just started crying. I was like so happy. And because I knew why that $200 was there. I wasn't expecting it, never asked for it, but it was for me to get a phone, a cell phone. I took that $200 and I bought a cell phone, prepay, pay-as-you-go type cell phone from 7-Eleven for $100. And then I took the other $100 and bought some groceries for Wolfie and myself. So it was my very first cell phone. Yeah. And yeah, I loved living there. Hated the stairs, but I loved living there. Yeah, there were things that I loved about living there. There were some things that I hated about living there. But yeah. I've lived in a lot of places. And each place has positive memories and negative memories. Some places more negative than positive. Yeah. But that's how life goes. Yeah. So I've just been sitting here for just about an hour now, yakking away. I think I'm gonna have to put this away because, yeah, I gotta stop. My finger, it's right here, it's killing me. Yeah, it's killing me. So, yeah, I can only do so much of this and then I have to put it away. And holy crap, I got a fair bit done. Yeah. You're probably going, well, how can you tell that you've got a fair bit done? Well, I can tell by the knots. Okay. Now this is the lowest knot. And when I started, I was about here. When I started working on this today, I was about here, this row. 2 rows up from this particular knot. So yeah, I got a fair bit done. It's coming along nicely. I can't wait until it's done. I don't know if I've got another ball of this yarn. Let's see if I do. I'm not seeing any. Bummer. I guess that means this is it. When I get to the end of this ball, that is it. But that's okay. It doesn't need to be a very big pillow. It's obviously going to be a long-ish pillow. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm excited to get this finished. It will, of course, take a while because of my hand being as bad as it is. Okay, so anyways, thank you for joining me going down memory lane. Giving me some ideas for the future. And yeah. Alright. And on that note, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!